Yes, yes. 1, 2, 1, 2. You are now tuned in to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 97.
97.
My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic left, right, left kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the word, kid?
What up? What up? What up?
Irish
Upset
Billy is
special
here for
land.
his Irish Billy is here for his second time in a row, or no? This is
Yeah,
the
Hello,
holy
everyone.
shit. Yeah, but he just disappears now. He's on some now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah. He was just telling us how he was
Do
building
less.
his escape, yeah, before we got on the air.
Yeah, he wants me to do more so he can do less.
What's wrong with that?
I got two words for you, Long.
What's up?
Daniel Dubois.
Did you watch Bill? Do you even know what happened?
I know what happened because I was following along with Pazzi in the background because I was just like placing bets and not watching anything.
Oh. Resident degenerate.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up even on the day and had some fun.
There you go.
Did you end up even because were other sports involved?
There were other sports involved. Are we talking about the weekend?
Well, I know there was on
day?
the weekend because I asked you later. Yeah.
This guy's betting fucking cricket.
I made the mistake of going down the rabbit hole with him and being like, do you bet blank? And then
yeah,
he's betting like the Little League World Series.
I was gonna say he's betting like Romanian Special Olympics. He's got like I got a hot tip on this kid in a wheelchair.
What's that game where you push the thing on the ice?
Curling?
Yeah, he's betting on curling.
Exciting.
Wait, is that curling or hurling?
Curling.
I think it's curling.
Yeah. Hurling is like that. They have like field hockey sticks, right? And they're running around like set. You ever seen that?
I thought hurling was like track and field, like pole vaulting. What's it called when you throw the real heavy ball at you? No diddy.
Shot put.
Shot put. I thought it was like a version of that.
No, it's like this. Write us at KEOTBboxing@gmail.com if I'm wrong, but it's like you have like this field hockey stick and they run around with like a rock and they whack the rock and then they like take it. It's full contact.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like Australian rules football, but
Aussie rules, yeah, with a stick and a ball. We got a lot going on this weekend. I got to talk to this DAZN app before we get started.
Right.
I wanted to buy these fights, and I was talking to you on the phone, and because I was not connected to Wi-Fi, which seriously makes no fucking sense to me because I'm logging into the account, it wouldn't allow me to purchase the pay-per-view.
What do you think about that, Irish Billy?
I don't understand the.
I think this DAZN app has been giving you guys some problems over the years.
Yeah. I'm not. Does anybody else have this problem? Like you can't buy a pay-per-view. I mean, I was able to watch the undercards and watch stuff on it. When I went to purchase the pay-per-view, it told me that there was a problem with. So I'm logged into the account, my account. When I wanted to give them additional money to watch something, it wouldn't allow me to do that. I don't know if I'm the only one having this problem or everyone's having this problem. So Tony Taro over there had to do his best sideline reporting and let me know what was going on. And I was able to rewatch some of the fights so we could record this show. But I was quite upset. I was able to catch Friday night's ESPN card though, which was we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Let's start out with some news. This is news that could conceivably bother us because of the choice of fighter, but we're gonna turn something that could be meh into a fun night. Jaron Boots Ennis will defend his IBF welterweight world title in a rematch versus Karen Chakadzian. I don't know how that happens, Brendan.
IBF. The IBF this is an IBF mandatory. And then it went to purse bid. Matchroom lost the purse bid. Somehow is airing the fight. Is that it's a joint promotion? Or is this the compromise after?
Look, we talk about how when you're at a certain level, belts don't matter, and when you're at a certain level, they do. And we both said that Boots needs his belt.
Absolutely.
It's still not. I'm still not okay with it. I'll tell you why. Because it's a rematch and he beat him. That's a little bit different.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different when you add that to it. If it was a guy at 47, ranked Ring Magazine top 10, we don't think he's deserving, but he fights Boots because of said, trinket sanctioning bodies. Number one, we're going to be just as mad about it. I mean, he already did this guy dirty. He's tough. He's tough.
It was a boring fight. Remember, the guy sort of moved a lot. He's hard to look good against, as they say.
But he's he's one of those guys that's like, if you're not here to win, I don't want to see you fight.
He looks like
it's not about he's a bum, this and this and that. It's not none of that. It's like I don't feel that you're here to win. You're good. It's that,
well,
I don't know. So
it's happening.
November 9th, Bam Rodriguez will defend his WB super flyweight world title versus Pedro Guevara on the undercard, which that's a really big fight for Philly. And like we said, back in the day, it was very much, like the Latinos here are Cuban, Dominican, Rican, et cetera, from the islands. And the more west you go, you know what I mean? The heavier the Mexican fan base as far as boxing is concerned. But that no longer exists.
Well, I'll say this. Right now, it's just Bam and Boots scheduled on the card. So I think it would be dope for the undercard to be shaped up with a bunch of Philly fighters. That would be cool. I hope that they put a bunch of East Coast guys on here.
I'd like to see Cool Boy Steph back, but it's probably too quick.
Yeah, and that would be it'd be a cross promotional thing. I mean, for him to be, he's a PBC guy.
Yeah.
This is this is a Matchroom esque card. So let's see what happens. Let's see who gets on the card. We'll keep you guys updated. This is something that will knock him out the box crew is, likely going to be in attendance. So we'll keep you guys posted, and, write us at KEOTBboxing@gmail.com if you guys are going to go and what you guys think about this, local guys. It should be, I hope that they shape a really nice card. I have a feeling they will.
I think they have to.
Yeah, because Matchroom knows no one's happy about the main event.
And by the way, we're in this situation. We're not blaming Matchroom, DAZN, or Boots, or Karen Chikadzian. It's just, it is what it is.
Karen? Yeah.
It is what it is. Karen. Devin Haney asks if he wants to rematch Ryan Garcia. If he was right here, I'd get it back right now. I tried to do it fair and you fucked up. I did everything right. All my shit came back clean. Everything's got to be right. Everything's got to be on my terms. So, okay. Yeah, he also said that Teofimo Lopez rejected the opportunity to fight him as part of a Riyadh season show. I was supposed to get back in the ring in October in Saudi, and the next fight was going to be Teo. Turkey offered him a fight. He said he's not ready. He also insisted he won't be changing his trainers and corner team following the Ryan Garcia fight. Why would I switch up on my people when they didn't do nothing wrong? He took PEDs. The formula won't change. Every piece. So there were 3 pieces of news in that one thing.
Yeah.
With the exception of him saying that Ryan popped hot, in so many words, it's pretty much the only thing in there that I believe to be truthful or accurate. Meaning,
Dude, this kid is a shithead. Did you see the exchange he had with Eddie Hearn about not getting tickets to the card that we'll talk about a little later in the show, the Joshua-Dubois card? You didn't see this?
Wait, say that again?
Devin Haney, did you see what he said to Eddie Hearn? Him and Eddie Hearn had a back and forth on Twitter. You didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, so this fucking Devin Haney, the day of the fight, goes, Eddie Hearn's full of shit. I asked him for tickets. He pumps my name up every chance he gets. And when I asked for tickets, he couldn't give me, he didn't give me tickets to the event, blah, blah. Eddie Hearn quote tweets him and says, "You asked me for tickets the morning of."
Oh, I saw someone mocking Haney in a meme that said, like, finally got my tickets or something, and him saying
That's because him and Eddie Hearn went, like, what I'm saying is the personality on this kid, the level of entitlement is insane. Hearn says it's fight day. I'm concerned with my fighters. You know what I mean? Like, basically Eddie Hearn passed him off to someone else and was like, yo, call this guy. I'm not fucking setting you up with fucking tickets the day of. This fight's been booked for months. If you knew you were going to go to London, why wouldn't you if you're Devin Haney, why wouldn't you set that up ahead of time? And then you, instead of sorting it with your promoter, you take to Twitter and start a public feud and tell your however many followers that your promoter's full of shit.
One thing about everyone we talk about negatively on this show, B, and again, correct me when I'm wrong, because when we do the show, we just riff, man. We don't plan like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone we've said that's a consistent bozo has done anything to make themselves a better human.
Right.
Man.
Like, it's almost like they just dig a deeper hole.
They're dug in.
This kid, so to piggyback, I think I overused that term, but anyway.
No, not at all.
To go off of what you're saying, the things to be truthful and this and that, this kid's level of delusion and arrogance is going to get him knocked the fuck out badly again. This attitude is going to carry over into the ring. And to your point last week, how you said he walks around heavy, he looked massive at this last card. Haney, I'm talking about.
Look, man, I have no problem saying what I think he walks around at. I think he's like 185, 190.
I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, his face looks chubby now, right?
That's what I mean. Remember that time you loved bringing it up while it was happening, when for whatever fight, Spence was in the ring with Mad Jules.
Yeah,
and he like made us look in shape.
Right.
It's like that's what he's doing at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw footage of him in the gym. Now, being in the gym doesn't imply you're in shape. You know what I mean? It could be the stage of Ricky Hatton. We need a month to get this weight off before we can actually train.
Right.
And we've talked about that before with guys that did this. We've spoken a lot about Hatton. At some point, you're getting so overweight in between fights, you're not training for the fight. You're training to to make weight.
Right. I think Sergio Mora makes that point often on the show, on his broadcast. He says, if the battle is the scale, you're going to lose the battle in the ring.
I agree with him. I do
too.
I can see Devin fighting wherever he fights at 40 or 47. There being a catch weight.
Yeah, it's funny, dude. Like, I'm forgetting
43 or 50 or something.
Right. I'm even like forgetting that this dude is 140 pounder.
Yeah.
He looks massive.
I think the craziest visual of it was the night he got in the ring with Lomachenko. I think it was at the Garden, and Lomachenko made the weight. This is lightweight.
Yeah. Well, no, that was Loma's previous fight.
Right. That's
He got
in the ring. But I think it was at the Garden. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he said,
yeah,
this is lightweight. And I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
he was in in his clothes, like street clothes. He just looked huge. No diddy.
Yeah, he doesn't look in shape, and the crybaby whiny mentality all the time is look, his resume,
he's just like a spoiled kid, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just a spoiled kid.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
And I think that
we don't throw that around on this show because where fighters come from, and their backgrounds. You know what I mean? We'll say terrible things about people that are terrible, but we'll never say, "Oh, he's a spoiled brat," because they're usually not. You know,
He acts like a spoiled brat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people can be what you know.
Yeah, he's acting like a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
So, you go back and forth with your promoter. I don't know, man. It's the whole thing. I don't know if they resolved it or whatever, but he just makes himself look like a jackass. And if you're gonna go with like a battle of wits with guys like Eddie, like it's just not a good look.
No, it's never a good look, man. You really have to look at who you cut promos on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're not going to spend
Right,
a whole time
and
in
the
the
bird
news about that.
and the bird brain comments underneath it were like, "Yeah, see, Eddie's a dick. This is what we've been telling you." Blah blah. It's like, do you fucking idiots realize what the promoter is going through on like the day of the fight, the day before the
I
fight?
mean,
fight week?
I have people texting me during sound check, "Yo, what's up with passes tonight?"
Right.
You know, it's like who I forget who I just said it to. Was it you? Where I was like, "Yo, no, it was I don't want to say who it was. It was
Okay.
someone connected to the Canelo pay-per-view card who had a fighter on the card. And they were like, "Yo,
Okay.
I didn't want to bother him because it was fight week."
It's fight
And he's
week.
like,
Yeah.
You understand? It's like people bothering you on tour. And I was like, "Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm getting punched at the end of the week, but it's exactly the same thing with the
Sure.
what's up? Can we slide through? You know,
Yeah.
um,
It's not like you're at work or anything.
the WBA have now officially ordered Imanis Stanionis to defend his WB welterweight title versus Shakram Gayasov next. I've never heard of him. I don't know how these alphabet organizations are picking these guys. How does this guy get to number one? They have 30 days, which would be until October 19th, to agree to a deal, then purse bids. Who's going to bid on this? It's going to be on the Souvlaki network if they're lucky.
Stanionis has one of the strangest careers.
I mean, maybe. How old is he now, bro? That's important because we keep talking about
30.
this. See, another one that we keep saying, "Yo, this kid."
No.
Because we've been hip to him for years now.
Right. Not a kid.
And COVID and a couple of years after that took him from 25 years old, possible star, 3 possible fights with Virgil Ortiz to fighting a guy, Shakram Gayasov. Do you know who he is? Have you even heard his name in passing?
No.
So we know he's not a top 10 guy. He is in this organization, this corrupt organization. Do you care about that?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I
so
don't.
here's
Outside of Brooklyn.
let's not hurt our arms patting ourselves on the back.
By the way, that guy's 31.
With our very recent prediction of who Tank would fight next and our absolute knock him out the box stamp.
By the way, hang on. Gassiev is an Uzbek silver medalist from 2016. Giyazov.
What's his record?
16-0.
I mean,
9 KOs.
Maybe he can fight.
You know what? You know what I'm saying right here?
Upset special already. You're
Upset
smelling it out.
special.
We don't know what he looks like.
I do. He goes by Wonder Boy, and he's 31. He's no spring chicken.
Yeah, but he probably has amateur fights.
Dude, it's his amateur records, like your typical. I'm looking at him now.
Yeah.
And it is, recorded 158 and 26. So
he's a beast in the amateurs.
Yeah, close to 200 amateur fights. And I'm going to go ahead and say upset special.
Javante,
you like that?
Not until it's made.
All right.
Javante Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach is reportedly now the front runner for Tank's next fight in November.
Yeah, I heard
December.
that.
With Rayo Valenzuela also a possibility, who they really don't want.
I heard Valenzuela said no because Valenzuela has a belt at 40. He's not going to go, and they want this fight at 35.
Yeah. Well, let me finish here.
Sorry.
Javante Davis versus Lamont Roach reportedly could take place on December 21st. the same date as Usyk versus Fury rematch. So they're pushing for Roach. So after Valenzuela said, I beat this Pitbull from pillar to post for a belt at 40. If we take the fight, this is where we want it to be.
Sure, I got a belt.
So they took the easy way out, which is to blame it on him.
Right.
No, that's what we wanted, but
Yeah.
So I'm actually okay with I'm actually really okay with this. You might not like this stuff, whereas I do. If I gotta wake up for a fight, then I hate when there's nothing on at night. I hate when there's something in Saudi or the UK, and then it's a Saturday night with nothing.
Right.
So if Usyk and Fury starts at around 4 or 5 o'clock East Coast time, then this card starts at 9. They're saying it's going to take place in DC. So look, that's Tank's backyard. And obviously Fury.
Lamont Roach is from DC, right?
I believe so. He's definitely from DMV. Yeah. So you have Fury and Usyk, Riyadh on the 21st, and I'm guessing they're going to announce this. They threw Ryo's name out there, in my opinion, because he said what he said. I just beat Pitbull for a belt, and then when you say, well, this guy's still not fighting elite guys, the easy default is, well, he turned it down, and we're telling you why he did. The kid just came out of nowhere, was looked at in that fight, except by you and I who picked him, was looked at as a no-hoper to get knocked out. And we said he's really fucking good.
Can someone clear this up for me? So Lamont Roach isn't even a light, so he'll be moving up to 35?
Exactly. He had a nice win on Pro Box. It was a weekend you couldn't catch it. You were doing something with wifey or the girls. It might have been the day before school started, actually. And we came on and I was like, yo, he looked really good. It was one of those, where someone looks good against a lesser opponent, but you still see all the good things they did. And I praised him. And I'm not going to shit on Lamont Roach or his skill set, but he's going up in weight to fight a really big puncher. He's really good. The clauses in weight bullying continues. The lack of an opponent that, this guy's his I'm the face of boxing talk. These letters we get of where is Tank on our pound for pound. Now write us the same shit. Write us again. Write us on Instagram, Twitter, or our email. Write us again. Now he's fighting Lamont Roach instead of Ryo. Now I'll say that. Eddie Hearn has said that they may now try to make Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury next if Fury loses to Usyk again in their rematch, as he explained the contractual situation for a potential Daniel Dubois rematch. We have another fight with Riyadh season, and Turkey Al-Sheikh. Dubois is part of that plan, but so could be Fury or another heavyweight. We fancied winning tonight and fancied the winner of Usyk versus Fury. Now we may end up fighting the loser of that fight if it's Fury. Look, he said we're going to get into it, so I won't drag parts of the show into other parts of the show. But just for this instance, AJ's like, I'm not retiring. I think the fight to make is him and Wilder.
Loser leaves the Earth match.
Yeah. Because we read in news that Wilder said he's not going anywhere. So let's see him get fucking knocked out of the ring.
Or the opposite.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, they both showed that when they get touched, it's over. Both of them are reacting pretty much as poorly as you can react to shots. I don't know if you saw Prince Nassim say, like, AJ's made a ton of money. He's done a ton for the sport. He should retire. He's made a ton of dough. The way he's reacting to shots, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not.
And he
just
retired
him.
early, Prince. He retired early, very early. I think he was. He was
31.
29.
Yeah,
He was 31 years old.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think he made. I thought he was.
Or maybe it was his 31st fight. Is that what it was? Anyway,
last bit of news: Jaime Munguia versus Ronald Gavril is reportedly set for December 14th in Tijuana. I don't get that after what we just talked about. After his performance, and we rattled off the names there of guys who could potentially be really good fights. Jaime, I know you brought up already a couple times about crossing the street, but it seems like we've been able to do it so far the last 18 months.
mhm.
I don't. I mean, he lost twice to David Benavidez. He's got 3 losses. Losing to Benavidez twice is nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of at all. But I think Jaime Munguia, as I've said a million trillion times on this podcast, can be an Arturo Gatti-esque, a Mexican Arturo Gatti-esque guy. I think he has the potential to always be in something fun. We're about to get into it right now.
Yeah.
What happened. So, guys, Friday night we told you that there was an ESPN card. I quite enjoyed the card. It was very,
Real
in my opinion,
Nas was 28 when he retired.
okay.
You're right.
This was very much classic Friday Night Fights-esque.
Yeah.
Friday Night Fights. I'm gonna do what B likes to say. Worst to first. Even though that doesn't apply, but we just keep using it because it sounds good, but it's not always true. Because sometimes the opening fight's the best card, sometimes the last is the worst.
Sure.
Emiliano Vargas, El Feroz is that his oldest son? B? I'm always it's the youngest.
Yeah, Emiliano's only 20.
Okay, versus a guy named Larry Friars. You told
Larry Friars is a famous, and I feel shitty for saying saying who the hell's Larry Friars. He's been he's like everyone's sparring partner from around here.
I mean, I feel as much like shit as you do.
Yeah.
He's tough as nails for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
He cares that we said that. We thought he'd get destroyed. He did. Look, I'll do what we typically do now. I've been taking notes and just having you react to them. So just either cut me off, cut me off when I say something that you want to react to, or let me get through it and then react to it. Either one's good with me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
First note, Tim Vargas calling Emiliano Vargas a phenom. I almost took a stroke.
Tim Bradley, you mean?
Yes. What did I say?
Tim Vargas.
I said Tim Vargas.
Tim Vargas. Yeah.
I told you I was tired before this. Right. If I'm calling someone Tim Vargas,
well, all right. So I reacted to what he said.
You did.
Yeah.
It seems like a bit of an amplification. No, it's a phenom.
Well,
come on, B.
He's very good. I know that I heard an interview with him, audio interview. Did you hear this? He wants to fight 5 times a year next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I like the answers these kids give.
Yeah,
I like all 3 of them as kids. You know what I mean? As people, Diddy, huge no Diddy. I like all 3 of them when they talk. They rock for each other, of course, as brothers, but they're always there, like going crazy for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, does Nando seem like a dick to you? If it doesn't jump out, then that's just me being hyper. Yeah,
no,
but what very like I almost aired you out.
Almost aired me out?
Yeah. Someone you don't like, but we can't talk about it. A fighter, but we know them.
Oh, okay.
And it's sort of something that happened to you recently.
Gotcha.
And you were like, yo, that guy's a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like, I never met Nando, and I loved Nando as a fighter. Like, I was a massive fan.
Me too. The only thing that struck me as I saw an interview with him, and he's like, well, if certain things like don't make sense, I'm putting a stop to it. We're not doing that kind of thing because they're like, what happened with me in my career. So I interpreted that as like, well, yeah, because of my connections, my kids will get a little bit better treatment than I got. And
I see that being applicable to every kid of a fighter that we talk about on the show.
it's
It's
just
97 episodes. They all
right.
they all jump the line. They all play frontsies, backsies. Look at Eubank. Look at Ben. You know what I mean? I, for one, championed Ben for a while. And then our assessment as of late, you and I, is that after he was forced to get off the gas, he's a jag. Looks like just another guy.
Right.
That's all been our assessment. He popped hot. This isn't slander.
Mhm. I guess what I'm gonna get at is, again, you and I do this game a lot. What other sport? ... Right. Now, yes, you can put people in position, but you still have to perform.
Correct.
This
When
is
Bronny James shits the bed, he's not going to stay a starter. He's not going to even stay a sixth man when he shits the
Right.
bed. Doesn't matter
Right.
what Bron does.
Right. Like Howie Long's kids had to be great, and they were.
Yes, you're right. One of them played here for a minute. in Philly.
Yeah. The list goes on and on.
No, you're right.
Now,
You're absolutely
there
right.
may be a push. There may be access to
Better camps, better training
correct.
facilities. Yes,
growing
like
up,
that.
yeah, but they
the
still have to have
actual
talent.
game.
And the actual game at the high level,
Yes,
if the Eagles aren't making money, and I'm just using that as the last example,
of course,
then the guy's not going to make the fucking team.
Of course. If Donovan McNabb's kid is in college right now and comes out as a QB and we draft him and he stinks, he's out.
He's out. Right. And he's almost under more scrutiny, than anyone else. This seems like anyway,
well, see,
I didn't
know
mean to
how
go down.
No, I think it's a great road to go down. I'll tell you why, because I'm always the one talking about how Top Rank moved Nando too fast and had him in with killers at 21.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're off
So
saying this, and he probably thinks the way I do. I was just curious if he comes off a certain way to you, like rude / dismissive, or is he just punchy? I mean, those kids have personalities, bro.
Yeah.
The one sat in with Gabe Rosado on a couple weeks back, the other Friday night card. Remember that one?
Yeah, wasn't that him? Wasn't it Emiliano?
I don't think it was. Was it?
I thought so, promoting this fight.
I mixed them up because there's 3 kids. They're young and they're his sons, not because they look like twins. When the 3 of them are standing there, I'm like, oh, I know each one of these kids. But when it comes to this, I start getting them confused. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look, he looked really good against a very tough Larry Friars, who, like you said, he's known for sparring and getting really good guys ready. He's no joke and he's tough. He has losses, But to me, B, that's what you're supposed to do against a guy that's 13-6.
Right.
Early in the 5th, he threw a 3-punch combination. He immediately took a few steps back. I said, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know if he
wanted to get
hurt
around.
His no, he hurt his hand. He's like, boop, boop, boop. And then I don't mean like, I mean like walked away like someone does when like Oliver McCall, like turned around and walked away. And I said, I don't know what just happened. And he immediately gathered himself, came forward again and started using the hand that I thought he hurt, which is bad for your hand. Smart technique. Don't show anybody your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But awful for your hand. But soon after, he threw 2 hooks to the body, big right, left, came right up top with a straight left, dropped Friars. Ref immediately stopped it as soon as Friars dropped. Now, that's something maybe you can weigh in on, because that doesn't happen usually unless it's one of those, oh my God, this guy's dead. And it certainly wasn't. I'm not saying it's a bad stoppage, by the way. It was going to be stopped and it was going to get ugly and Friars was busted up. But to see someone get dropped and be completely with it and completely aware of their surroundings, completely, and I'm talking not 10-9, that, sometimes you see that 10-9, then they go, oh, this guy's fucked up and call it off. I mean, he lands the punch, he goes down, that's it. Did the corner say, I'm going to give him a little, I'm going to give him another round, and the ref had that in his mind? They were going to give him another round because he's taking a beating. I mean, these shots downstairs were beautiful. How he set it up top. I just have a problem with Tim Bradley saying phenom. Don't ask me why. Is this picking nits? Is he just not using the word? I mean, bro, a phenom is Oscar out of the Olympics.
Right. I think he's just using a turn of phrase. I don't think he's a phenom either. I think he's a very good prospect. He's a good 20-year-old. No disrespect to Larry Fryers at this point in Larry Fryers' career, but they picked Larry Fryers for a reason.
Of course.
Um,
You talk about more than me.
I think Larry Fryers' history, they don't want Larry Fryers or anyone hurt on one of these cards badly at the hands of a air quotes phenom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the reason for them jumping in. I mean, Vin, you know as well as I do, that happens a lot on these like smaller cards when the guy who's supposed to lose
is losing bad.
They just kind of hop in there. And
You're right.
Or to your point, Vinny, they're like, this guy's already got a hurt hand. He's kicking the shit out of this guy. Let's just stop it.
Yeah, and another, I'll be honest when I say, like, maybe his corner did. You know, when a guy's getting fucked up, and his corner says, "Look, you've earned my respect. I'm giving you another round, and that's it." The ref was standing there and heard that, and that's he's gonna hop in.
Or the ref didn't like the way his face looked, or
something
his eyes,
that we didn't see. I'm just explaining to the listeners.
I think you and I have watched boxing enough for enough years to say these are the unfortunate incidents, the Larry Fryers of the world. You know, oftentimes those are the unfortunate incidents we read about on the Sunday paper.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. That's a really good point. Yo, this guy's too tough for his own good. That's it. He was busted up before they cleaned him up.
Yeah.
Anything else to say regarding Emiliano Vargas?
Okay, so Emiliano Vargas is 20, Amado Vargas is 24, and Fernando Jr. is 27, which I can't believe. Yeah.
Wow.
So I just looked all that up. So Emiliano is their biggest hope.
I agree.
In terms of
I didn't realize he was 27, B.
He seems to want to make the most fights. I think he's the best of the three that I've seen.
I do too.
They're all very good. I don't know if they're otherworldly, but they're all good. They're all serviceable fighters.
Well, you know how we talk about divisions when for some reason all of a sudden they seem to clear out? Like we talked about 160 on like last week's
47,
episode.
60, right.
You know what I mean? So like
super high.
Emiliano's only 20, so he's at 140, but if he goes to 47, he can grab a belt somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I get where they're thinking. I just heard the word phenom and I said, okay, look, like at some point,
let's not get crazy here.
Let's not get crazy. You have a responsibility as a broadcaster, whether this kid is with your promotional outfit or not. And because hyperbole is a weird thing. We do it on the show because we're two idiots and we bust balls and joke around. That's why people like this show, because we really don't have any, political connections
or agenda. Yeah,
or agenda.
We're self-funded.
Yes, we curse. We call people dickheads and assholes. Right. No one does that.
So you guys fat?
Yeah. Richard Torres versus Philly's Joey DeVaco. Joe's from Philly. You and I talk about the urban style, and what people really mean by that. We like to talk about that.
He's slick,
right? Joe. Look, Joe's been around since he was a kid. The amateur program, etc. You don't train in Philly gyms and have a honky fighting style, bro. Like you just don't.
Yeah.
You don't train. The kids he grew up with, etc. Like Danny, all those kids that you always talk about. When we talk about that class of amateur and that age of kid, Danny, Sean Porter, like Joey's part of that crew of kids. You know what I mean? So he knows everyone, trained with everyone. So you're just not going to be around Latino and Black fighters your whole life and have a Midwest honky style where, where you look, it's not going to happen. Joe's always had good head movement, good feet. For me, being 5'10" is what he is, especially in the post-Klitschko era. Before the bell rings, you're at a disadvantage in every fight. This is just my opinion.
I'll be honest with you. I've stood next to him
Mhm.
as you have. No disrespect. I think 5'10" is generous.
I think he's
I'm 6 foot.
I'm 5'9". I feel
Right.
like we're about the same size when we say hello. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like a guy that's fighting at heavyweight against monsters is in a disadvantage in every fight just because of that. So let's move over a little bit. The fact that I did not know this, B, you're probably going to tell me you did. The fact that Richard Torres has been boxing since he was 8 years old is fucking perplexing to me. If you told me he's been fighting for 6 months, I would absolutely believe you. The only reason I knew it wasn't like that is because he was in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, from the John L. Sullivan stance, the crew technique, he wastes tons of energy with ineffective movement.
Sure.
He just does
from way too far away.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
He seems to get by somehow.
I guess you could say because he's got a great engine and he's in good shape or well conditioned, so he gets by.
How tall is he?
I think he's another one. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he's 6'2". I believe he's 6'2". There's a lot of Allen Iverson, 6 foot guard from or 6'1" guard from Georgetown going along here. Met with a lot of the them saying the wrestlers, the Undertaker at 7 foot, 400 pounds. You're like, oh, it's a big motherfucker, but he's not that.
He's not that.
There's a lot of that going on in new era boxing. You said, how is he doing it? I guess he just fucking trains, man. He's well conditioned, which is a great thing. At one point, Bernardo Osuna said, you can see, I had to write the quote down, so I wasn't just paraphrasing. This is the quote.
For the sake of this show and the criticism, I got to start listening to the commentary because I
like telling it to you so you can get hot.
Yeah. Okay.
It's better. Keep it off and let me give you the fucking boneheaded things they say. And I love Bernardo Osuna, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Bernardo Osuna said the following, and I quote, not paraphrase. You can see the speed and agility of Richard Torres. And I thought I must have dropped acid or they put acid in the pizza that I ate that night. In the 4th round, Torres let his hands go, started busting DeVaco up. Torres was just busier overall in the fight, and Joey wasn't busy enough. And in a fucking strange thing, the ref calls the fight because Joey's mouthpiece kept coming out.
I saw, he was like, I was watching the fight, and I was at a bar watching the fight with no audio. No one was at the bar but me watching the fight. There's people behind me but I was sitting at the physical bar, had the thing right, and I said, what the fuck?
When guys, sort of Corrales, when he saved his own ass by spitting it out against Castillo, none of that was going on. I think it didn't fit. I flat out think it wasn't his, maybe someone forgot his mouthpiece and it was.
I think
so the ref calls it.
But buddy, I think we're seeing consistency on the card. The Larry Fryers, right? Stop that puppy, what you feel was early. DeVaco, they figure out a way to stop that one without him taking too much.
Hey man, I'm gonna fucking go straight ahead and say I'm buying what you're selling. And if I can add first off,
hey guys, anonymously write us in if you have knowledge of this. I worked in television. Is this directors going, all right, let's get this one moving? We're too heavy heavy means what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You're going to, and
the college game ran too long. You're throwing everything off. Babe, Joey DeVaco landed 2 monstrous shots. This shit starts heating up.
And they
Richard Torres lands a shot, mouthpiece comes out. Joey was not spitting out his mouthpiece.
Right.
I understand when guys do it. It's actually smart. And you'll usually get warned. You do it again, they'll take a point. They did this. But to me, it just looked like a mouthpiece that didn't fit. And when you get hit by a fucking heavyweight puncher at this level, your mouthpiece is going to come out if it's not yours.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an awful call.
Got like 13 losses, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Or maybe 11. So yeah, I get where you're coming from when it comes to Larry Friars and where it comes to Joey DeVaco. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I'll just leave it at that because it's not a title fight. It's not, you know what I mean? But guys go through camps. They go away from their families. It was the lightest he's been in years. So this ref was just, them motherfuckers when we watch and we text each other, we're like, can this guy just back off?
Yeah,
I know too much about this ref already.
Do we think that I don't think there's a future for Richard Torres really. I mean, does Richard Torres compete with either of the two guys who headline the next card that we're going to talk about? And I'm not doing a segue. I'm just saying what I'm, because obviously
I'm gonna cut you off and ask if you're being sarcastic for the sake of the show.
I'm positing a question. Okay.
Richard Torres will lose to guys like F.A. Ajagba.
Agreed. So doesn't this feel like we're sort of wasting our time?
We are.
So
we are. So
that was what I was getting at.
Who believes that it isn't a waste, Bob?
I think that.
Does he rep being Latino?
Bang. Tribalism. That's what I was getting at. They are desperate. I mean, we sat through a decade of Chris Arreola being out of shape, not dedicated, and getting booked as a fucking co-feature or a headliner,
only to be placed by Andy Ruiz, who landed a lucky punch.
Right.
And if not, we would have had.
So now they found, and am I wrong to assume that Richard Torres is Mexican American?
I'm not. We always bust balls here about ourselves, about being Italian, about everyone. I honestly don't know.
Okay, so we're not. Torres is a name of Spanish origin. We're going to
correct.
Assume,
he spells it with a Z. Everyone I know in my life spells it with an S.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean in my life. Like if your wife has cousins or homies of mine, its real name is Torres. It's Torres. Unless they spelled it wrong. Is that how they have it?
He's from California.
Yeah. Do you?
Okay. He's Mexican American, I'm assuming, or Latin American.
Okay.
Of some sort. Okay.
Okay. I'm just agreeing with it. He looks like Baba Booey and has a porn. Mama Monkey.
And he owns that, like that's part of the shtick. His sort of look. He wears like tight jeans, like with a tucked in, like button up shirt, like it's
he's kind of got like a moulet.
Right.
Yeah. He's embracing whatever it is that's going on.
He looks like an 80s hunk.
Yeah. But here's my question to you. We're debating whether he's Mexican American. First,
what I'm saying is, are they this desperate for a Mexican or Latin American heavyweight?
They are, but let me ask you a follow-up to that. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. Now let me ask you a follow-up. Does he speak Spanish? Not that I know of. And do you feel that when they had this card here in Glendale, Arizona, right, where it's mad Mexicans there for the Vargas family and for Jaime Munguia in the main event, did you feel any sort of wave of fandom for Richard
Mexican
Torres?
Pride? I again had the audio off.
I didn't, and I didn't. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm saying it certainly wasn't to where I noticed.
I mean, and he seems like a nice guy.
He's the nicest guy in the fucking world. He's polite. He says all the right things. He does all the right things. I don't.
What is the ceiling with Richard Torres?
Like a Ty Fields type guy. I don't.
Right? Is he like a fun guy?
Like I always say to you, and you
remember that gimmick? Remember Tor Hammer?
Yeah,
he was like an educated guy from New York.
Yes,
and he was like a studious guy, and then it just stopped, and I think he quit twice.
Yeah, I think
in the Olympics. Vinny, when do they move him? How old is he? The mustache throws me off.
That look is so, I don't want to call it deceiving. It's like you look at a baseball card from we were kids at a rookie, and he looks 409. He looks 48 years old, Richard Torres.
That's what I'm saying. So when you were a kid growing up, this guy could have been like one of Lenny Pass's friends that came by the house.
Absolutely.
And when you were like 10,
We
right?
might
And they're like,
spot Richard Torres, in a movie where someone goes back in time. We might spot him in one of Lenny's like party pictures at the
that's what I'm
Wildwood
saying.
Shore.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking Richard Torres.
It's
We knew he
Richard
came
Torres.
from the 80s.
He came. So did Richard Torres hop in Doc Brown's DeLorean?
Yes, from 85.
And he, he went 88 miles an hour and
Yeah.
wound up in 2024. And
He
now he's
tried out
fighting
for
on
the
our TV.
84 Olympics. That team was way too good because it was stacked, and said the only way I can fucking do this
Is
going
Billy
20
writing
years.
this down? Because this is
A
a show. Netflix calling Netflix. I think we should abandon knock him out the box. And
the movie starts with Richard Torres losing at the Olympic trials, and Doc comes in, and it's like, I have this thing outside.
This is a
and
fucking home run.
It's the fucking DeLorean. No Marty.
But
no Marty. This Jay Fox is
this guy Richard Torres does look like a baseball player from the 80s.
Right, but it's a rookie that looks 48. Yeah.
Right. Or like a hockey guy, right?
Yeah, it's like an 86 top. It's like an 86 rated rookie, Fleer rated rookie.
Or like
Richard Torres.
He doesn't look like a boxer at all.
All right, I got a better question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you kind of do with him what they're doing with Nico? And you're like, we already know his ceiling. He's an attraction.
Do
you butterbean him?
Is that what they're doing? And we don't know it?
I think we need a handful more fights to see what they're doing. If they put him in with in Jared Anderson's comeback fight, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Like, I have no problem right now with those two meeting in, say, December.
Yeah, I'm with it.
And it's that litmus test, B, of are either of these guys for real, And whoever wins doesn't mean they're for real, but it means like, oh, all right, we'll put him in there with a fucking.
And I think Richard Torres would take. Richard Torres is the guy in an 80s movie that sticks up for the nerd, right?
Yes.
Like he comes and
he's the nice jock.
Yeah. He beats up like the bad dude.
He's like Charlie Sheen and Lucas when he helps.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
even though this Charlie Sheen was raping this kid in off set.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, it's what the Feldman says the Haim told him before he tapped.
Oof.
Yeah, allegedly. We don't want to knock him off the box off the air.
The Feldman is a sight.
The Feldman on tour, the videos that have come from it,
would you
really made
go?
Well,
would you see that live?
I would see the Feldman way before Limp Bizkit. So if the Feldman was playing Philly, I'd be like, B, book you and Ray know we're going.
Tommy loves Feldman.
Well, then we're going to see him when he's on the East Coast. But I ain't watching Limp Bizkit though. That's the problem.
Oh, they're on tour together?
It was.
Is that true? I thought you were just bringing that up.
No. It was the Feldman, Riff Raff, one other like out of place dude. I love Riff Raff, so I would stay for that. One other out of place act, and then Limp Bizkit is the headliner.
I don't understand how these tours get put together, but I'll tell you right now.
Well, they get put when you are or were. Let's really lean in on were as big as Limp Bizkit. You have that kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
There is a nostalgia thing with them that I've heard people like, yo, they were all okay. For the record, maybe my least favorite thing of all time, Skin Crawl. I have a huge issue.
Horror movie.
Okay, that is, what is it called? Is it cultural appropriation?
Yes.
Is that what that's called? Okay.
Yep.
So me being a hip hop kid, right? I love rap music, as you know. And also my secondary thing was hardcore punk, right? Because a lot of my
you're like, this guy's ruining both of these.
But bang, precisely. So I would get so like angry.
And we're honky, so he's ruining it for us.
Okay. Now, with that said, the Primo song that they did with Method Man, love the beat.
Well, Preem laced them. It's Premier.
Right. And Method Man destroyed the verse. I legit.
You're talking about 99 when there were big paydays being
right.
checked or cut.
There
to
is
Premier
a
and
there
Met.
is there is a button in me that Limp Bizkit pushes
Mhm.
where I don't believe in burning books or destroying music.
Mhm.
And if they wrote a book, I'd burn it. And
Mhm.
if their music comes on, I want to destroy it. It's so hard for me to get through a Limp Bizkit song.
I've never done it.
And also he's like a poser skater too.
Do you know our inside joke where we talk about someone and we go, "It's music for people that don't like music"?
Yes.
It's music. It's like it's music for people that'll tell you, "Yo, this is heavy,"
This is
or
heavy.
"This is hard,"
Yeah,
or
yeah.
"This is
Oh,
da da da," and you're like,
I remember being like, ah, like that when that came on because that was the height of my music snobbery. About
"Yo,
18, 19
of
years old.
course." You're talking about me. I'm 2 years older than you. I was
Right.
exact same time with me,
I-
and it's right when shit really started popping for me. So
Right.
I had another chip in the game, and
Oh,
more
yeah.
chips in the game. One label suggested we be like a type of Limp Bizkit.
A type. I was just gonna say, I can
Not
imagine
the label that told me that.
which is the one that told you to do soprano rap.
Should I say that? Nah, I can't say the label. I know. I know someone
You
that
can-
told me that. But they were major. It was a major.
That's my favorite. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
So
It
there's a
was.
show on HBO, kid.
Well, it
and
was
you
right
should do
before 9/11. So you're talking summer 2001. America had Sopranos fever.
Right.
They
You
have a
should do
Paisan kid in front of them who can rap. They would have
Yeah.
done it with anyone. A terrible rapper.
do some. Well, they did with the kid from Staten Island, right? He sort of had that gimmick. Jojo
Yeah,
Pellegrino.
but JoJo's incredible.
Right, but it was like
Well, that was Violator and Chris Lighty. It wasn't Capital.
Okay, all right.
Lighty was like, I mean, but it's like JoJo is like a Staten Island Italian kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not a gimmick for Joe. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is like
it's just a weird lane.
It's a weird thing to say as a label. You don't say certain shit to black kids that are in there too. We really want you to embrace the fact that your uncle, blah, blah, blah. You're like, yo, man, what the fuck? I'm trying to rap and get a deal here. Right. Like now it's the cultural appropriation. But the way
sorry to get down the rabbit hole of
not
Limp
at all.
Bizkit. It hurts it hurts.
You have to understand that at that time, it wasn't just like, oh, I don't like this. I was taking shit personally because I'm trying to get a deal. Violent by Design is out. And I'm like, all right, now people are trying to sign me, but all that shit's popping too. So it's like, as far as honkies, it's like Eminem, then it jumps to Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Korn, that
so bad.
horrible rap rock shit. So it's like, all right, this kid's certainly like not an Eminem. Eminem's white as shit, bro. Like white bread honky shit. Blue eyes, dyed blonde hair, not from the east or the west. You know what I mean? Like you ain't getting me to do no my name is type shit. You know what I mean? So they're like, all right, what about like everyone needs an angle? It was that time of the industry. It was like, what's the catch? You know what I mean? I'm like, that we're good, and that wasn't good enough. You know what I mean?
I think it was the in between MTV and Napster. Like it was
TRL, Total Request Live was like blowing this stuff up, and it was pop music. So if you tell anyone who loves any of those bands, my guy, you realize you basically like New Kids and In Sync with heavier notes on guitars, right? And they'll flip on you. They don't understand that.
I don't even fuck with or at least I don't know if I fuck with them. That like that, like none of my friends like that music. Like I was never in anybody's car, and they were like, "Yo, I got the new Limp Bizkit." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
my man who had recently gotten out of jail when they popped off, Rican kid from North Philly, pulled up with that tape, and you would have thought in his brain that he just pulled up with the fucking Negative Approach demo or a fucking unreleased Nas album. Yeah. And him not being hip to that culture and me telling him it was whack, he legit wanted me to give him a rumble.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing me, man. Like,
yeah,
like, bro, I'm not playing you. I'm trying to hip you. Like,
Yeah.
if you see a real kid that reps that hardcore scene, that's a goon, they're gonna clown the shit out of you. I'm just trying to hip you. I'm just trying to hip you.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of bad music from then, and
Yeah.
then there was spin-off bad music with that, and then the new Umlauts metal that sort of was the contemporary of that was really awful.
Yeah.
Comically awful. That stuff
Yes.
actually made me laugh. Like I
Oh,
worked in
there's stuff that if you YouTube it, you'll piss yourself laughing.
yeah, I worked in a restaurant at that time, and the guys in the kitchen played like that music all the time. There was where I lived in New Haven, Connecticut at the time, and I worked in a town called Wallingford, Connecticut. And there's the not to get again, we got to get back to boxing, but
Yeah.
Radio 104 in Hartford, Connecticut. That was the big thing every summer was the 104 Fest.
Yeah,
And
of
it
course.
was like new metal and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And those guys played it, and I would wear headphones.
So you didn't have to deal with it.
I didn't have to listen to it. I would wear headphones there because
Yeah.
I was always outvoted. They all wanted to listen to it.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, so sorry about that, guys.
No, not yeah. Sorry, you guys had to listen to our hatred of this. Main event: Jaime Munguia, Eric Bazinian, 168. We talked about this. 168 needs a new star, one way or another. Canelo's on his way out, whatever that means, guys. I ain't saying he's retired. He could fight 4 more. He's done it fighting real guys. Both of these guys coming off of fights they didn't win. Munguia losing to Canelo, Bazinian coming off a draw. So despite not being for a title, this fight was important. I might be eating my words after who we found out Munguia is fighting next.
I can't believe they booked him already.
Look, as we told you guys last episode, Bazinian is good. We told you he was good.
Yep.
I gave him the first round, beautiful jab. From the first bell, I saw a vast improvement in Munguia regarding his skill set. He was moving his head more, which I don't think I ever saw him move his head. Switching.
He's back with Eric Morales.
Yes. You think that's what it is?
Well, everyone liked him with Freddie.
Yeah.
You know, Freddie Roach. The John Ryder fight was Freddie Roach, and he was all offense, just kicking ass. Obviously, losing to Canelo there's no shame in that.
No, none at all.
He was at Freddie. Now fighting Bazinian, I'm sure his payday was less, and Freddie comes at a very high
price. Yeah.
Yeah. So go train in Tijuana, where he's from, with Eric Morales. Take what you learned, 2 camps with Freddie. Doesn't have to go 3 hours up north to LA.
Yeah.
I think a mix of those 2 guys looks good. So I do this with Munguia every time. For some reason in my head, I think, all right, this is the next fight where he's just not going to eat punches, right? And that'll never happen. So the first part of a Munguia fight before his gas tank really kicks in, and you just see his level of athleticism. And I don't mean like run fast, dunk a basketball, catch a football athleticism. I'm talking there's different levels of athleticism, and his talent is his battery, is his gas tank, guys. But he ate a lot of hard fucking jabs in this fight.
Did you notice at one point, you remember when Oscar was boxing on his toes against Tito?
Yeah.
At one point, Munguia was doing that. And I'm like, what is happening? And then he'd switch up.
He's just trying a few different things.
But like you said, though, he was eating those. It was a bit of a chess match early, which you could never apply to a Munguia.
No, and Bazinian is a real upright, Euro, like you talked about it last week with someone else, but a Euro style fighter, upright, a 1-2.
Yeah, it's literally what I have written down is both guys were throwing a nice jab, and both would only put the 2 behind it
Right.
So I'm going, yo, you got to start putting 3s and 4s behind that if you want to
Well,
take control. But I thought it was working for Bazinian because he was
it
throwing the
was
1-2 and getting out of it
and getting out of there
and landing them, like as you
and
said,
landing it.
landing them.
Yeah, and he was stab jabbing to the body a little bit. So I have to do this thing where I have to put like my Jaime Munguia helmet on, right, when I'm
Mhm.
watching him, and realize that he's going to get hit with the kitchen sink for the first 6-7 rounds until
And then
he
turn it
gets up,
Yeah.
and then he's going to go, all right, guys, that guy's tired from beating my face in.
Yeah, he's doing the homer.
He's doing the homer.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm going to start to work in the second half. And the extra gear with Munguia is I don't have to explain anything further. Obviously that was the difference in the fight, but I had the first half of the fight I had Bazinian winning. I was scoring the fight for Bazinian.
I had Bazinian up at the time of the stoppage, still, but with the tide turning. But I still had him. You know what I mean?
Right, but the tide turns,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
fucking shit, man.
Is there? I mean, I guess if you're Munguia's camp or a diehard Munguia fan, you have to start thinking about him the way you and I think about Tank. When Tank loses 6-7 rounds and then clips you
Right.
and he wins. What happens when that doesn't happen? Because
Yeah.
Bazinian did tire.
Well,
Look, but he was
Vinny,
boxing beautifully. 1-2, slip the counter, get out. I was like, yo, this guy. We knew he was good though, but
Yeah.
I just
What
thought
round
Munguia.
then was it where I think it was like the 7th,
Okay.
where Munguia lands. It was like he threw like a hook cross hook combination, put Bazinian up against the ropes,
And had him hurt.
had him hurt.
I
Yeah.
have that written down. That was the 7th. And then the
Okay.
Maniac waved Munguia on
Right.
after he was badly hurt.
But I thought Munguia punched himself out there in the
I
7th.
did too.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like
I'd say around that time, maybe the 6th, maybe the 7th, Munguia starts being more aggressive, landing more big shots. But I'm like, yo, both of these guys are good.
They're good. Right.
Then he got hurt bad. But
Bazinian sort of has a weird form on his right hand. It's kind of he pushes that shot. He doesn't look like it comes natural.
He doesn't turn it over.
Yeah. And his elbow is underneath his fist when he throws the shot. It's sort of weird looking. I wonder. At this point, they're probably not going to correct it, but I wonder if anybody ever tried to connect it.
I thought it was a really good fight, high level stuff, violent chess. I love that type of fight. To me, it was dictated by distance. Who was ever at their preferred distance. So when Bazinian was boxing, it was, so he hurts Bazinian badly again in the 10th, then puts his foot on the gas, like you said, because he's got a gas tank. And drops him, and he just fucking couldn't get up.
And it was attrition.
It was it
yeah.
was.
So I think
classic Friday night fight throwback for me.
I had a blast watching it.
Me too. I had mad fun.
Munguia, this weight is where he's, I think, just going to settle in, and we're going to see the prime. He's what, Vinny, 27? He's been around forever now.
Yeah. But he's, these guys turn pro at like 17.
Right. And he was a prospect at 54.
Yeah.
He was this, he was a phenom. He was this big kid who was going to fight adults.
He fought Saddam Ali at 54, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who beat Cotto for that trinket, or was that 60? I don't remember.
54.
Yeah. But, I don't even, you look at that kid now and wonder how he possibly made.
Right. He's a big boy. So I think Vinny, at 68 right now with the current landscape, he's a nightmare for anybody.
I just don't like that there's a handful of guys there, and his next fight isn't one of them.
Right.
We named them last week. A Caleb Plant Munguia fight is fun.
I'm picking Munguia in that fight.
So am I.
At this point,
so am I.
At this stage in there, if you had asked me pre-Benavidez, Caleb Plant or Munguia, I'm picking Caleb Plant.
You're absolutely correct. He's 27 years old, 45 fights already. Yes, it's locked in. The fight we talked about, we don't understand it. It's maybe they just want to get one in
Yeah.
before the end of the year and
Sure.
fight one of those guys like, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing Jaime Munguia Berlanga. I wouldn't mind seeing Jaime Munguia Christian and Billy.
Bro, I'm just looking at his resume from 2008, which is 6 years ago. Sanam Ali, Liam Smith, Takashi Inoue.
Yeah.
I mean, these are Dennis Hogan. These
Gary
are like
O'Sullivan,
Gary's,
Torano Johnson,
dude, Toriano John. These are blasts from the past names.
Gabe Rosado, Demetrius Ballard, Derevchenko.
Bro. This
Yeah.
kid's got a great resume.
He does.
All right.
He's got a better resume than Tank.
Certainly.
You know, and he's not looked at.
Right.
What do you all right, so look, he's gonna have a stay busy fight. What do you want to see him do in the new year? Because and then we can move on.
Fight anybody, any top guy at 68. I'm just gonna go run through the names real quick, okay?
Yeah, I named a couple.
Right.
I want you to
I'd like to see him and Billy. And if they're both with Top Rank, that would be a lot of fun. I think they're setting Billy up for Canelo. What do you, or I would do Plant. I would do any of this. So that means Plant and Berlanga will likely see, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's the combination we'll see.
Yeah, because of, like you said.
Right. And then Billy will get Alvarez, Munguia. I mean, Diego Pacheco's there too.
I think where is Billy? What sanctioning body has him number one? Whatever that is, I say Canelo vacates it, and Jaime Munguia, Christian and Billy fight for that belt.
Okay.
And Canelo doesn't fight him. While you're looking something up,
I don't know.
I just want to say, I want to see Brazilian again, and I think he's really good. I think he can beat some guys, and I pick him to beat some guys at 68.
Sure.
You don't win a bunch of rounds against a good guy.
I think the WBC has him ranked in Billy. Because that's who he fought Derevchenko, WBC Continental, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. I think Canelo vacates that belt instead of fighting on Billy, and they fight for the title vacant.
Okay. All right.
Are you okay with that fight? And Billy,
sure.
Jaime Munguia? Okay.
I love
it. Let's go to Saturday, B. The Zone, Wembley Stadium.
These fuckers.
Mark Chamberlain versus Josh Padley, a 12-1 underdog. Huge upset. There was a knockdown and a point deduction in that fight. It was a tight fight. I don't have any problem with the decision because it was close and those 2 points.
Yep.
That's 2 points. I think if they run it back, I'd probably pick Mark Chamberlain. I'm taking nothing away from Josh Padley. Kid fought his heart out.
All right. I think they're going to run that back.
We called for an upset special here with this Josh Taylor, Ishmael Davis. Josh Kelly. I'm sorry. Right. Ishmael Davis was looking for one big shot, stalking. Kelly just boxed, man, hands down. He slaps with his punches. Pity pat shots will win you rounds if nothing's coming back, I guess.
I'm not a fan.
Neither am I. Davis had Kelly hurt bad in the 12th. Broke his nose too little, too late. Everyone from the Kelly corner to the announcers thought it was a whitewash. It was very close scorecards.
Okay. It's a majority decision, right?
Yeah, I don't think much of Josh Kelly.
I don't either.
We picked him to lose. Guess what? This doesn't change what made me pick him to lose, if that just made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever made us come to the decision of calling an upset special was not erased by that performance. Hopefully I'm making myself clear and not talking in weird circles.
You're not.
Anthony Kakachi, the Irish Paisan.
He's like, oh, hey, how are you? Oh.
versus Josh Warrington. I forget our picks despite picking Kakachi. I forget how we look. Warrington was.
I said it was going to be a UD. Warrington's up like 2 divisions, right?
Yeah, I think
And
if you said that, I said he was going to stop him late.
Yeah.
Look, Warrington was determined to prove he had something left in the tank, and for a while there, I was like, maybe he does. Kakachi was fighting on the inside early. Why, I have no idea.
Right.
You and I talk about this ad nauseum. The guy's 9 foot tall. Just
get out of range. Yeah.
When he started fighting behind the jab, he hurts Warrington badly in the 4th. He was consistently getting off first, landing cleaner, harder shots. I scored it. I had it 117, 111. It looks to me like Warrington retired post-fight. He put his gloves in the ring and had a picture taken of him. That's symbolic shit. It's old school. I haven't seen him say it since then. Maybe he wanted a dope picture of fighting in Wembley.
I thought he was. I couldn't believe that this is who they booked. I thought he was already retired.
Yeah. Your man came up next, Willie Hutchinson versus Joshua-Dubois. Look, Boatsi's like every guy that comes from Ghana. Tremendous shape, iron chin, tough as nails.
What'd you think about that fight?
It got a bit sloppy.
I thought so. Yeah, I found this and rewatched this fight because Willie Hutch is my guy. Even though I picked Buatsi last week.
Hutchinson would box well, then Buatsi would bully his way in. He fights in spurts. You talk about guys that do that.
Yeah.
He fights in spurts, which is frustrating to me. Buatsi, I think he could go from being like a solid guy to whoa, but he just does that when you fight in spurts. I understand why it happens. He hurts Hutchinson in the 6th, had him on Queer Street and dropped him. Hutchinson saved by the bell in the literal sense, saved by the bell. Hutchinson has a head point deducted for a headbutt. Clear, just dirty. He was just dirty.
Willie Hutch.
Buatsi started setting up his big shots up top with beautiful body shots, which is smart when you got a guy that's moving,
Sure.
Drops him again in the 9th. Again, he was saved by the bell. I'm thinking someone should stop this. No, Hutchinson is a goon. That's your man. I'm not he's a tough as nails. That said, I had it 116, 109 for Buatsi. One judge had it 113, 112 for Hutchinson. Fire them, bring them in. Like we always say,
right? Like, so who, what?
So you gave Willie Hutchinson 8 rounds.
What crime family
are you from?
Are you from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what organized crime family?
Right, from one in Ireland or over here? Is the 5 families, or is it the Irish mob?
I watched that fight and I couldn't believe that this was anything but a unanimous decision.
Let's just remind,
like you said, could have been stopped.
Let's just remind our listeners. So you say 113, 112 for Hutchinson, razor thin. No. That's with deductions. So 2 knockdowns and a headbutt. So they gave round-wise, they gave Willie Hutchinson 8 rounds.
8 rounds.
Because they would have had it with none of those point deductions, 116, 112. For the Southern black blues musician, Willie Hutchinson.
Willie Hutch.
Who's fucking cracker, white breed honky.
I want to know. Like I said, I want to know. Maybe Richard Torres can use that DeLorean, fly around and figure out, what neighborhood
other things
Willie Hutchinson is from, right? And if, he came up on the mean streets of wherever,
right,
and some local mobster took a liking to him and now is putting
maybe he's wrapped up with like the IRA or something.
That's what I'm saying. They're putting the screws to that judge, and it's like, you better give it for Willie.
Right.
And he's like,
that might be your first good accent ever.
I do great accents. I don't know if you recall, back in the lost episodes, we established I'm the master of accents.
You certainly established that.
I'm the master of accents.
Did. Speaking of 160 being wide open, our guy, Hamza Shiraz versus a kid named Tyler Denny. Hey, look, Shiraz drops him in the opening seconds of the fight to the point where I chuckled.
This kid is.
This guy is no joke.
He's got the British class.
Yes, he does.
But he's got a very aggressive American style. it's a Goosen.
Yes, fan friendly American style.
Ricky Fuentes sort of, obviously Ricky Fuentes famously is Joe Goosen's scion. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ricky trains him. And it's a match made in heaven. So,
yeah, he knocked
by the
him
way, Ricky
out.
Funes, not Ricky Fuentes. My bad. Ricky
He
Funes.
knocks him
I
out
misspoke. Sorry,
in the
Ricky.
second. We talked about how good he is. What else is there to say? 6'3", he can box, he can punch. He's a calm killer. 160 is wide open. In my notes, I wrote down, I pick him against anyone in 160 right now. If they made it this weekend, I'd pick it.
He's a stylistic
Janabek, whoever else there. Look, you mentioned the style. There's not just that. He's British, so therefore he speaks English, but he's Muslim. So the Muslim community around globally, Arabs, Muslim are going to embrace him. He's going to have something similar to what Hamed had on a smaller level, what Amir Khan had. I don't know what his ethnic background is, ethnically. I don't know if he's Arab or Pakistani. I don't know where he's from ethnically. Of course, he said Alhamdulillah afterwards. So I think he's a star in the making. We're super
He's a
hype
hunk
on.
too.
Yeah, he's a good looking kid. Again, like we said, he speaks English. I'd be willing to bet he speaks Arabic. And if his family is not from the Arab world and there's someone else, and you can add another language he speaks. You know, at the time I remember thinking, oh yeah, he's from blah blah blah, but now I can't remember. Look, man, I got 3 words for you. Daniel motherfucking Dubois. My guy. I would not let up
Pakistani
on this guy. Okay. I would not let go of telling our listeners how good Dubois was. I started in his comeback fight with Big Baby Miller.
Did.
I would not stop saying how good he was. I picked him to beat Big Baby Miller. I picked him to beat Hrgovic. I said he was good before then. In between, after the Hrgovic fight, I kept saying he was good when this fight was announced. I picked him to win the fight and get robbed. That was my pick. He didn't let it go there. I don't know what to say. Dubois comes out firing and landing the jab. He stung AJ with a short little right hand, then lands a huge looping right hand that dropped him. I'm just fucking screaming to myself because you couldn't get your DAZN shit to work. Badly hurt and saved by the bell.
In the literal sense, again.
Badly hurt in the second. Again. Knocked down again.
Was he talking shit the whole time too?
Yes.
Then
he walked Dubois to his stool and did the sit down thing after he was dropped. Walked him over, here, take a seat after he was dropped.
That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't really, and I like AJ.
It's weird.
Look, Dubois was one of the most special performances I've ever seen. AJ knocked out cold in the 5th. Special.
And AJ was trying.
One of those moments I'll always remember where I was, what I was doing, exactly where I was. AJ was trying to fight back. He landed a couple big shots.
I was just going to say, and he was trying to walk him into some shit. Dubois spun him, and then AJ's back was to the ropes, and he got him there in the 5th.
AJ lands a big right hand. Dubois comes back. AJ lands another big shot, and Dubois was firing at the same time and short-circuited AJ. The face first, Paul Williams.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't even at the end of the punch too, and it was sort of on the side of his head, neck area. His punch resistance is shit, AJ.
It's gone. It's getting into the getting into the Amir Khan conversation.
Yeah, bro.
So what do you do with a guy that is still young for a heavyweight? Please, everyone remember that I'm saying that for
34.
a heavyweight. AJ's
34 years
still
old.
young.
You make one last fight with him if he can, with a huge domestic fight, and or a Deontay Wilder fight, like you said, but do that in Saudi.
They meaning AJ and his team are waiting for Usyk and Fury. I guess they're hoping that Fury loses, and then you make Fury AJ.
Yeah, but he doesn't deserve that. I think Dubois deserves either a rematch with Usyk.
Then he would get it. He would get it in theory. Fury loses. Fury fights AJ. Dubois gets Usyk
again,
and he has total fucking. He has a leg to stand on when it comes to in my head, in my belief, I knocked him out to the body.
Not our belief.
No,
not my belief.
No, but I will say he was doing all right in that fight.
I think none of those scenarios would surprise me right now, Vinny. I'm going to take a page out of your book. The next anybody that AJ fights knocks him out.
I'm going to defend him by saying something. So it's weird because I'm going to agree with you and then defend him in one fell swoop. He doesn't do in my opinion, come back against a Robert Helenius like Wilder did. I think he comes back against a real guy and gets fucked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think there's a gimme. I think now the other
I don't
thing
even think
is,
at this point, I swear to God, I don't even think Wilder's a gimme for him because his punch resistance is so
I
fucking
think Wilder's punch resistance and AJ's punch resistance, if this was a video game,
double KO
would be,
Like right now, I'm picking Big Bang Zhang to beat AJ if they fought. I'm picking
Big Bang Zhang. Okay. All right. I don't have a problem with that.
Of
everyone that's floating around, I think the one he has the best shot against is Wilder. I think he's shot enough where now Joseph Parker would knock
beat
him out.
I do too.
But this doesn't have to do with how good I think AJ is or was. It has everything to do with punch resistance.
He just
doesn't.
Yeah, and again, I don't want this to diminish Daniel Dubois' win. I don't want this to diminish
dog walked him and beat the dog shit out of him. I don't want it to diminish the fact that I thought he could do it. He fought how many times? Who is his last couple fights? He fought the MMA guy. Was that his last fight?
Yeah, dude. And I said this isn't immeasurable. Like his last.
Of course I did. Of course I remember. Who did he fight before that?
Helenius. I said he doesn't have a great. This isn't. And I was going off of what you were saying. In that you were saying, hey man, guys, this could be an upset special here.
Yo, shout out to everyone that listened, that hit me right after and said, Paz, you said he was gonna win. I'm not going to do revisionist history and say I called a knockout. I absolutely didn't. I thought he would beat him.
It was Helenius, Valine, Ngannou, Dubois.
Okay.
Vinny, sorry. You definitely were bigging up Dubois. He can crack. That's what you said.
I just kept saying he's really good. He's really good. Look, man.
Tony Tarot.
No, I don't want to take credit if it's not there. But look, a lot comes with the fact that he's a really, really, really quiet, respectful guy and an introvert. To see him with his little brother, to give his father a hug, I was definitely caught up in the moment. I won't forget it anytime soon. I just really, really, really like Daniel Dubois. I could not be. Shout out Doug Fisher, Ring Magazine. He said, "Your guy." When I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he knew that.
That
I'm just a big fan of him, man.
Right. I gotta say, I like Dubois. Hard to dislike, And again, a redemption story. I said this is the biggest redemption story in British boxing history.
I agree.
This is a guy labeled a quitter, guys.
Yes.
This is a guy
by not just pundits, by other fighters were saying it.
Right. And this is 2 losses in title fights. Comes back. He got emailed a belt, right?
Yep.
We talked about.
Yeah.
But now he's earned it by knocking AJ out.
But hey, people thought he wasn't going to beat Big Baby Miller. He stops him, who has never been stopped.
Right.
Then he comes back against the #1 ranked guy in the IBF, who's been waiting around for a shot, in Filip Hrgović. People thought he was going to get sparked out by him. So, B, there's also a comeback trail that led to the redemption.
That's what I'm saying.
It's amazing. I mean,
so
this is the stuff.
One of my friends posited, well, what about Lennox? I go, no one ever labeled Lennox a quitter.
Never.
They may have said he didn't have a chin.
Yeah, he's chinny. He got sparked out twice by guys who shouldn't have. He changed his style with Manny and fought in a different style, and they rebuilt him. Manny rebuilt him.
Right. For McCall, I mean, he was with Manny when
Hassan Rahman sparked him out.
When Rahman knocked him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, this is.
But when you get your lick back twice, you proved that they were both lucky.
Correct.
He destroyed. Well,
he's beaten every man he's ever faced.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Lennox Lewis beat every guy he ever fought.
Right.
What do you do now?
You wait.
So Dubois, you wait the same way that AJ waits.
He's got to wait.
Waiting. So one's waiting for the winner, one's waiting for the loser.
Correct.
Joseph Parker on DAZN B was with so it's the pretty girl, Kate Abdo. And then the guy, I don't think you like him. He knocked Usyk knocked him through the ropes.
Tony Bellew.
I
like Tony's okay. I like
Tony Bellew and Joseph Parker.
I actually like Tony Bellew a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always really liked him.
I like Tony. He's cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I must have mixed him up with someone else you don't like. My apologies. I really like I think Joseph Parker's a really nice guy. I think I always root for guys who do more and train harder and do way more than their talent should allow them. So I like root for those guys in theory. It's not like I think he's great or I go, B, check it out, Joseph Parker's fighting. But he does more with what he has than someone like a Broner who was given all the talent in the world.
Right. It's funny.
It's
Parker's
it's Bronx Tale. There's nothing worse in the world than wasted talent. And then you have these guys who do way more with way less. And I find that honorable and I find it endearing. So he said he called out Dubois. Hey,
I'd take it.
I just don't think
Parker
it's fair. Makes for fun fights. I think it's fair with his little run that he's had.
Yeah.
He's beaten a couple of good guys after he was written off.
Okay. So we also have to add like Martin Bacoli in the mix, right? Because he's top 10.
Absolutely.
If I'm Dubois' handlers,
I go nowhere near
that motherfucker.
No, I go for a couple of monster paydays and then start. He's so young.
Bacoli is going to have a lot of trouble getting a big fight.
Why wouldn't he? Who? If we were a management team, you and I would be going, I don't give a fuck of these top 10.
We said if Bacoli Zhang is, if I'm a matchmaker, I'm putting that as a co-feature undercard.
Yes.
On Dubois' next fight.
Yeah. Big Bang Zhang's cutting promos in bad English, calling out Daniel Dubois. Of course, everyone wants a piece now because the other guys are wrapped up until December. So it's like, all right, what are we going to do in early 2025? Because everyone's going to get, let's assume, you get Fury. A Fury win leads to a trilogy. A close fight might lead to a trilogy, B. You know?
Yeah. So,
or am I off there?
I
think it's a close fight, but he wins Usyk.
I think if it's a close fight and he wins, Fury,
they're done with that. Fury fights AJ and it does 100,000 at Wembley.
Sure. Dubois. I think the best, Vin, I'm looking at this. The best opponent for Dubois is Joseph Parker. Out of the crop that's there. I mean, no one wants to see Dillian White. Okay. Big Bang Zhang and Bacoli, to me, are heavy-handed 300-pounders.
That's a fun fight.
No, I'm saying Not for Dubois though. You know,
No,
if
no,
I'm
no,
his
for each
handler.
other. Oh, I'm sorry. I
Oh
thought you
no,
meant for each
that's
other.
the fight I want to see.
Yeah,
those
put that
two.
on the undercard.
Yeah,
and
put
winner
those
gets
two boys right.
winner
And
gets the winner of the headlining Dubois card.
The guy who beat Frank Sanchez, Caballel, his name is.
Yeah,
I think
he's good.
Did I pronounce that properly?
I have to look at it. He's good. But I think Dubois and his handlers, bro, I forget what he deserves a bag. You don't you don't lose and then beat Big Baby Miller in
and I
in
think
Saudi.
the most well-known heavyweight that'll get him a bag is Joseph Parker. And I'm gonna tell you, I think he would knock Joseph Parker out.
Unless your knee-jerk reaction off rip is the plan. Wait. All right, we're almost in October. Wait for Usyk, Fury, and push for Turkey Al-Sheikh to make the winner.
I think you make the Joseph Parker fight. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Moving on. We're moving on. I mean, what we talked about what AJ could do. What Dubois did was just, I mean, like you said, I don't know what else do we do to break this down. It was
talking about AJ now and the UK is like talking about Mike Tyson in the 80s and 90s. Mike could have kept going.
Right.
Just done whatever he wanted to.
Right.
Got a beating from a top guy, fought a bum, and it'll sell out on pay-per-view. Literally, AJ can do that. So to break it down, there's no reason to at this point. He can still do whatever he wants after the L.
Right. There's not much going on next week.
No, we got Friday night fights out of New York City.
The headliner is I only know who Michaela Mayer is.
Yeah.
It's two women. I don't know who's guilty. I don't know who Sandy Ryan is.
Yeah.
Welterweights. I'm surprised that that's the headliner. I haven't usually if there's a big time women's fight, I see a ton of hype on Twitter. I haven't seen any hype for this on Twitter.
I'm really surprised they're naive enough to think that Michaela Mayer is a bigger. I'm not going to use the name star. How about the word draw for the argument? Then Xander Zayas
or Shushu
in New York. In New York City.
New York City.
I would put, even though it's for a belt, that that is the main undercard of the main event.
Yeah, I'm going to
watch Shushu. I'm not familiar with Suleiman Sagawa, who Shushu is fighting.
He fights out of my friend's gym in Washington, D.C.
Okay, I think you mentioned that to me. I love Shushu. I love his personality. I think the potential.
Let's get him moving.
To be, you gotta be. You're on ESPN. You got to make this special, and then let's get him moving. The most unimpressive performance of Xander Zayas' career was his most recent fight.
Correct.
We both know you're only as good as your last performance in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to get back in the on the minds of people, he's got to do somebody dirty. I'm not familiar with Damian Sosa. So clearly they saw, the matchmakers over there, at Top Rank, what we saw. Him not looking good against a guy that he should have battered. If he battered the guy he should have battered when we said he didn't look good, this would not be Damian Sosa. I'm telling you right now.
25-2, Mexican guy, 27 years old. His nickname is Samurai. Samurai Sosa. Has not been stopped. So we'll get rounds. He lost to Ivan Alvarez, who was 31-14-4 when they fought.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost to Artem Oganesian, who was 8-1, who is now 13-1. Who's inactive. Another Russian out of Montreal.
Guys, Xander Zayas and Shushu are both in there with guys they should beat. It's my opinion that both of them need to stop their opponent if they want to keep this rolling. And in my opinion, Xander Zayas' last performance knocked him off of the moving train that he was on. I love Shushu. I love his personality. I think he's a star from meaning he has the traits of a star, personality wise.
Yes, Suleiman Sagawa is. I mean, let's be honest. He's 17-4, 6 knockouts. He's got a draw. He beat Ruben Villa. I think that was a pro box card.
Yeah, Ruben Villa could fight a little bit.
Yeah. That was an upset.
What fight of this is it for Shushu?
Like number.
Yeah.
This will be his 13th fight. He's 12-0.
Yeah,
buddy,
man.
No, he's 27.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Long time amateur career. We're gonna move him differently than we would move a 21 or 22-year-old prospect.
We gotta get.
Zayas is supposed to be a phenom, to use that word and to call
yes,
that.
he is absolutely sold us as that. We both shit on his last performance. You and I always give.
I'm not sold on him.
Well, we always give someone a 1 fight pass, so I can go. I thought he looked great 2 fights ago, and I thought he looked like shit one fight ago.
And look what division he's in. So
yeah,
he's 22 at 54. We don't think he's going to last there, right? He'll wind up at 68. We think 60.
Yeah, he has to.
Okay, because look, let's be honest.
He's dead man walking at 54.
Crawford, Ortiz, Madrimov, Fundura, Zhu, Bohachuk, Murtazayev.
They're all bad.
Charles Conwell.
Yeah.
Brandon Adams.
They're all bad. Brandon Adams might beat him right now, babe. That's who he should be. A guy like that. So Xander Zayas has got to fight a guy like that by 2025.
I am. All right. You know what? God bless him. Let's watch on Friday.
I almost spit out my water when you said that.
I'm sorry, bro.
God bless him. I'm not where you're at, but I'm not mad at where you're at. I think he looks great against Damien Sosa.
Right. From what I've seen.
Yeah.
Not one of the guys. That's like 10 guys I fucking rattled off.
Yeah.
Do I think he beats right now?
I don't either. But I also think that happens to a very quickly out of nowhere. 1 week we were like, what the fuck? When we looked at 54, it was dead.
And I get yelled at by my friends who are fighters and promoters and announcers because I say the exact same thing I'm saying to you guys out there. I say to them and they go, no, Zayas is the future. Zayas is this. I go,
if Xander Zayas Friday, September 27th fights Brandon Adams beats him.
I would bet my mortgage on that. So now, Bruce Carrington needs to knock Suleiman Sagawa into the shadow realm.
Yes.
This needs to be impressive as well. He's 27. You've been on TV a bunch. Let's get it going. Shoe York, as you say. And this is unpopular, by the way, for me to do this because he's so loved by everyone. Everyone loves Shushu.
I love him. But I don't think you're saying anything. Bro, he's 27.
Let's go.
13 fights. You're talking about Emiliano Vargas saying, I want to fight 5 times this coming year, 5 times the year after that.
Right.
Yo, pick up one of the attitudes or the other one. Either I'm going to fight more, or as soon as I beat this Suleiman Sagawa, I want in there with real guys at 22.
Correct.
Right after this, my first fight in, unless he comes back in December, near the holidays. So if he doesn't, he's coming back.
And we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So who's at 22? There's guys there. There's not. Is Junto Nakatani 22, right?
8. No, he's at bantam.
18.
Yeah, he's at bantam. Inoue is at 22.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Right. So
I'd like to see him in against like a Louis Neary. See? And he's 27 years old. Yeah, bro. Maybe not this weekend. But Louis Neary's good.
Agreed.
On Saturday, Noel
How about Steph Fulton? after Steph Fulton's last performance.
I don't think they take that fight.
All right, so
I don't think they take that fight, Cold Boy Steph's team, unless it's for a belt and
I'm
a lot of money.
gonna rattle off this division. Steph Fulton, Angelo Leo.
I thought Steph went to 26. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's where Carrington is, bro. He's at 26.
I thought he was at 22.
Yeah, he's at 26.
My bad.
Right.
Bad.
So that's why I was a little confused. All right. So you got Nick Ball, Roa Basie Ramirez, Rafael Espinoza, Brandon Figueroa, Angelo Leo, Steph Fulton, Raymond Ford, Old Ray Vargas. That's what I want to call him from now on.
Yeah.
It's like, I would imagine if Trump was in that division and they were in a president, I'd be like, Old Ray Vargas. You look so old, Ray Vargas. And then you have
Espinosa's a cheat code, man.
Yes, he is. Raya Abe. Okay. I mean, there are a bunch of Tomoki Kameda, Arnold Kagai.
It's time to get him in there with a guy like Arnold Kagai.
Arnold Kagai.
Yeah, how about him? Let's do it.
Right? How about if he's fighting Suleiman Sagawa. Dogbe's still around.
That's a great fight. That's a great fight.
He's only 29.
Isaac Dogbe? Yeah.
He's only 29.
Yeah, I remember he was like 20, 22, 23 when I was first like, oh, I like this kid.
Oh my God. I if you had asked me right now how old he is, I would have said
36.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all right, so that's perspective right there. That Carrington's 27.
Yeah.
He's only 2 years younger than Dogbe.
Yeah, we feel like Dogbe's been fighting for 110 years.
All right, shoo, get it moving.
Yeah.
Xander Zayas, impress us. That's Friday night, guys. Saturday, okay, I'm guilty of this. As much as I shit on us people for not recognizing Usyk as the great cruiserweight that he is,
yes.
I've never seen either one of these two guys fight, and I put it on.
I talked to Ryan Rozicki on IG. Big up, Ryan.
Do you?
He's a good. Yeah, he's a goon. He's a fan.
He's got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah,
he's got some impressive art on that guy.
He's a goon. He's a tough kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know much about Noel Gavor Mikhailian. I'm picking Ryan Rozicki because I like him as a person.
Let's go. I'm on this Vinny Paz. He's a friend of the show.
He is. He's the goon.
He's from Nova Scotia.
Yeah, kind of tough as shit.
I was just gonna say, everyone from Nova Scotia is tough as shit.
He's tough as nails. He's a goon. He's super nice kid. So I'm just rooting for him. That's not what we do on this show. We try to stay, as unbiased as we can. I'm not at all now. There's also a DAZN card on Saturday, another woman's card at the top, but it's stacked, the undercard with prospects and possible contenders. And when I say stacked, I mean like 5, 6, 7 fights. So I'll probably not watch it live, and that'll be my Saturday night card.
You know what I mean? I won't spoil it for you then.
Well, you're the spoiler. I don't think you're capable of that.
We had a miscommunication with this Munguia fight.
Nah. So I wonder if Billy can get anything from the ESPN Friday night card. Is he still alive or is he dead?
I don't know. Oh, there he is. Quiet the whole show, this guy.
I'm alive.
Look at that beautiful background of our beautiful city, Philadelphia.
Yeah, switching it up a little bit. What do you need me to look for?
Are you in your penthouse right now? That's what we're looking at?
Yes.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. I mean, I'm glad you're doing well in that penthouse.
What do you want to see?
Is there anything on Xander Zayas? It's not with a Z, it's an X.
The
tone
he's minus 1,600.
What is the over-under?
I don't have one yet. I don't see one.
Hey, with the way this kid's been fighting, I'd fucking pick the over no matter what it was. Damian Sosa hasn't been stopped, so I'll remind you this weekend.
And what about, do you have Bruce Carrington? Is there odds there?
Yeah, he's minus 1,400. I didn't have an over-under.
So the Vegas is saying B what we were trying to hold back saying. They're both booked against two no-hopers.
Right.
And we're supposed to,
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna.
Billy, I don't know. Just work these into parlays somehow, Bill. You know? Anyway. All right. Do a little mail. We got a call back.
Do we?
Yeah, it's a good one. So do you remember Fabian, our friend from Chicago that went over to the UK for the Joshua fight?
I do.
All right. Well, he followed up, and we'll when by the time this comes out, I'm gonna post in our stories the picture he sent us. He sent us a picture with
It's a great
one
picture. I checked it before
one Sonny Edwards. He says, "What's up, guys? Hope you guys jumped out of your seat after seeing Joshua get KO'd. This trip couldn't have been any better. Woke up at 6 a.m. in Chicago, boarded at 3 p.m., got to London at 6 a.m., got to our hotel at 7:30, and we weren't allowed to check in till 3. So I decided to run the Matchroom. This guy's got a fucking battery on him. Decides to run the Matchroom 5K at Hyde Park at 9:45 a.m. because
What
we
a
weren't
mental
allowed
patient.
because we weren't allowed to check in. I met and got pics with Manny Pacquiao, his manager Sean Gibbons, Eddie Hearn, Terrence Crawford, Derek Chisora, Sonny Edwards, Zelfa Barrett. Best trip ever. If anyone wants to meet fighters, I'd recommend Eddie's Fight Day 5K. Once again, thanks for being the best podcast out there. Take care, guys. Fabian, this is great. Send us the rest of those pics, buddy.
Yo, so happy you had fun, man, and got to meet everyone, man. That
That's
sounds
awesome,
amazing,
bro. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, man.
I think I'm gonna do the 5K then in Philly.
I'm not.
I don't expect you guys.
Me and Billy will cheer you on.
You guys can
I'll have a
stand there with
beer
hot
ready
coffee
for
like
you.
Kramer.
We'll have shirts that say "Go Mussolini."
No, just stand there with hot
I
coffee.
found
like
will
Kramer.
the fight go the distance? B. I would be all over that.
What'd you say?
It's minus 180 that the fight will go the distance.
Yeah.
It's plus 140 that it won't. That's the odds on a Monday night. You know what I mean, guys? We record on Monday nights, and you hear us Wednesday morning. Billy, there's some money to be made there, but they'll probably won't be up until that morning. You know what I mean?
I'll have to consult you closer to the.
Well, the thing is, with your kids waking you up so early, we always have the early morning talks, so you can check it. And you got college football going on all day, so
this Billy is the ultimate sports
fan. Yeah, he is. B. So I texted him and said, "This Dubois can win, Billy." I didn't tell him to take it though. I did.
Right. Okay.
He said it's risky, but
what'd you do, Bill?
He didn't do anything, which is probably smart, but he would have cleaned up. I wonder
if any of
my views on Dubois have been risky post Usyk loss in other people's view, and I just stuck with him. You know what I mean? Because as much as you loathe him and think he shouldn't be in the sport, Big Baby Miller showed signs of skills at some point, and he's huge. And he was never stopped.
And then
Hrgovic. I don't know. Hrgovic can hang his hat on something now.
Sure.
Yo, look at the run this guy went on. That's not embarrassing. I'm still one of the best. I'm still a real top 10 guy. I can beat some of these guys,
Where does he go from here? That's interesting.
Kind of any of the guys you named. If the fights you want to happen don't.
Right.
Big Bang Jang, Parker.
He's still in the mix.
He's in the mix because
that's one of the beauties of like the heavyweight division, that you get annihilated and they'll bring you back.
Oh, I mean, we're literally spoke on this fucking podcast tonight about Wilder getting a monster fight. Right. And I bet you it happens.
It's amazing, right? They just want to see the big boys bang. No Diddy.
Yeah. Do we have any other mail?
No, that was it.
Okay. So Billy Betts pretty much broke even because we had an upset special that you mushed. So I got to remember, if you agree with an upset special, I'm out moving forward.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, but Paz fed me a nice little 3 fight.
I fed him a
me a nice little 3-fight
I fed him a parlay that he won to make up.
Buatsi, Shiraz, and Kakachi.
I picked all those fights.
Right. Well, I wasn't listening to you.
Listen.
What?
Let's be honest here.
Listen, get out just because you're up in your penthouse over there. All right. Looking at the sunset or rise.
Oh, beautiful.
Look at that. This
he
Billy
got that with the money.
That's what I'm saying. The betting money. He's up there in the fucking. He's chilling.
Yeah. Then he puts something on like fucking Ohio State and loses it all.
Yeah. Not Ohio State.
I would never bet for Ohio State to win. By the way,
bro, he's betting like Division II.
No, he just puts everything on Penn State every week.
What, are they good again?
They're never good enough.
That's not what I asked. I'm saying
story of my life.
Post Joe Pa.
See them lose. Pervert school.
Yeah, post Joe Pa Sandusky. Were you in school when that happened?
Yeah, I was.
No.
Yes, he was.
Were you in the showers when that happened?
Yes, he was.
I was at the summer camp.
They call them Sponge Bills.
No, but a funny story. I got in trouble up there. I won't tell a short story long, but the district attorney like disappeared, and I got like my case dropped, and apparently that dude was like tied up and everything. They to this day never found the dude. He just like disappeared off the face of the earth.
My question was you were done with college, but when the Penn State scandal, right?
Yeah, but
what year was that?
But some of the debauchery that was found out about, he was there.
Yeah, I mean that stuff was happening, but the news didn't come out until.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, it was happening for years and years. But when did the news break for that?
2010, 2012?
Yeah, I think around that.
Okay.
He thinks.
All right. You can find me at the Killer B24 on Twitter, at I_know_that_kid on IG. Write us at KEOTBboxing@gmail.com. Find us at KEOTB Boxing on IG, KEOTB Podcast on YouTube. Vinny.
Yo, JMTstore.com for the Knock 'em Out the Box shirts. JMTstore.com. All sizes. Dudes were busting our balls. We didn't have big sizes. I think they go up to 4X, medium to 4X. Knock 'em Out the Box shirts. JMTstore.com. On Instagram, at BoxCutterPazzi. Billy's holding stickers. He didn't know I made them and just saw them at the studio.
I didn't know that you had. I didn't see those stickers.
Yeah, I saw it like up on a door that like Scott has that he puts all stickers on. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah, what's up with those stickers?
I didn't send you any?
No.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Stop the madness.
That would have been on the side of my car.
I got to find them now.
So this Billy took them.
No, I think what I did was I sent them to the merch company to put them in all the packages and only kept like a couple, but I didn't know I didn't send any to you.
Likely.
JMTstore.com. At BoxCutterPazzi on Instagram. At Vinny_Paz on Twitter.
You see what he does to me, guys? He keeps things from me. And then it all comes to light when Billy Bindlesticks shows up.
Right.
You get exposed for your lying.
Right.
All right. And your secrets. All right. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.